Good day, everybody. So today I'm building a privacy screen. Basically, I'm building it out of used deck boards, and I got these deck boards for free. So I believe like typical deck boards are 1 inch thick material. I'll show you here. So 1 inch. That's a standard measurement, right? And then the width, I believe, of most deck boards are about 4.5 wide. So that deck board, again, I got this for free off of someone that replaced their deck. You know, the wood I would say is in really good shape still. There's cracks throughout it here, but since I'm basically cutting and ripping this all into 3/4 inch width strips, I think that the cracks are not going to be an issue at all. So basically, I just cut the height of my privacy screen, which is going to be 57, and then the width is going to be around 80 inches. I haven't finalized the measurements yet, but we'll see it once I'm done here. So basically, all I did is I took a scrap piece like this, and I did all my measurements and layout on this. So you can kind of see here, I just made my marks. Like, I wanted to cut off the rounded edges here. So I've cut off my rounded edges on both sides, and then I measured 3/4 of an inch, 1/8 inch for your width of your blade, and then 3/4, 1/8, and so on. And it worked out perfectly that I could get 4 cuts per board. So basically 4 vertical boards of the privacy screen per 1 fence board. And then I ended up with 28 of these here, which these are the horizontals, and these are the verticals. Like I said, 57 inches tall. So now I'm just trying to lay this all out. I just built this platform here just as a temporary support, just to kind of, like, it honestly be best to have like a big concrete floor, or if you had a garage, that'd be perfect. You could build it on a flat concrete garage, concrete floor. But I don't have a garage, so I'm just kind of making do with what I got. So again, I built this temporarily just as a place to do some layout and to build it on sort of a flat surface. So I laid out all my horizontals here, and I marked them. I'm going to mark them all 1 inches in from each end of the privacy screen, and then I'm going to glue and nail in all of my verticals just like this. And the reason I'm doing 1 inch is because, again, the thickness of this wood is 1 inch. If I ripped down 2x4s, it'd be 1.5, obviously. 1.5 inch wide board, 1.5 inch wide gap. And I've got a privacy screen here already that has 1.5, and I'll show you that in greater detail. Okay, so just an update. This, like I said, these boards here, part of the privacy screen, are the width. These are going to be the verticals, right? These shorter ones that I'm sitting on top. So these here, if you look closely here, you can see I marked it all out 1 inch increments. You see all the lines down it. So basically, all I did is I wanted to make sure that the pile is sitting fairly square, so I just took my 2-foot carpenter square and I just put it like this, and made sure that the bottom board obviously was parallel to the top, just so my pile is fairly square and not like twisted on an angle. And then I laid out the bottom one and the top one, and I just took my 4-foot level and described 1 inch marks all the way down. I have to do the same for the vertical. That way when I'm building the privacy screen, that I know that I've got every board lined up for 1 inch gaps. So this one here too, again, I gotta hammer these all, or get these all flush on this end, and then have my 4-foot level down and describe all the lines. It's a bit of a job, but I think that that's going to be the best thing to keep this privacy screen square. Okay, just as an update here, I've got all my verticals, all my horizontals laid out for this privacy fence. You can see I just use my 4-foot level and scribe marks all the way down 1 inch apart. And now it's time to glue it and nail it, and maybe a couple of screws, and yeah, put it together. Guys, I'm on the second day here of this privacy screen. You can tell it's starting to look more like a screen. Like I was saying yesterday, I kind of tried to flatten out this deck and make like a perfectly flat area to work on. So I'm going to I've decided to screw in the first 2 or 3 vertical runs here on each side. And the reason I'm doing that is I have nails here, finishing nails. These are 1.25 inches long, same as the screws. The reason 1.25 inches long is because the thickness of the horizontal and the vertical boards here are 3/4. So total would be 1.5 inches, and I don't want to go 1.5 inches because you don't want to risk anything poking through the other side. So 1.25 inches I think is the best option. And again, I'm going to use screws on the first 2 or 3 on each side, just because screws will hold 10 times stronger than the nails will. And also I'm using a bit of glue as well. So with the screws and the glue, I think it's going to be pretty strong. Gotta pay attention to the glue. Like, this stuff dries in 10 minutes. It's quick dry time. So I just want to make sure that I get this one screwed in, obviously, before the glue kind of sets up. And that's why I'm just taking all my screws and just starting them all right here. And also, it's very, very important to pre-drill, and that way you don't split any of the wood. I pre-drill everything I do, and I also always have 2 drills on the go as well, and that's just for quickness, right? One for pre-drill, another one to put the screws in. So again, I'm just lining it up best I can because I have all my lines marked like I was showing yesterday on the horizontals and the verticals, so it's pretty easy to just kind of eyeball it and get it all lined up best you can. You can see these boards here, they are warped, right? Some of them are kind of twisted, other ones are warped. Them up like so, 1-inch gaps all the way through, and see how it goes. Okay, so I got this privacy screen here up on my sawhorses, which is a lot easier to work off of, obviously, than down on the ground as it was in the last clip there. I got my Self-Reliance sweater on, and I got shorts on too to go with the sweater, so I'm not making any fashion statements today. Anyways, yeah, just in terms of the screen, so like I said, I screwed in, you can see here, the outside couple boards, and then a couple in the middle, and then a couple on the end. This one here actually split all the way down when I put the screws in, so I'll have to redo this one piece. I pre-drilled every hole, but I guess I just hit some knots and it just started splitting, so I'll have to, like I said, redo this one. But other than that, the whole thing's done. I'm pretty happy with it. It was a lot of work. Again, 1.25 inch nails. I'll just show you here. I got one more board left, and this board is really twisted. You can kind of see, like, if it's lined up here at this end, it kind of veers off like a hockey stick at that end. But it's since it's only 1 inch wide, 3/4 inch thick, it's easy to kind of start nailing at one end and then pull it back at the other end. And I'm only putting glue on the one side. I mean, ideally, I guess you'd probably want, like, every joint you glue, you'd want glue on both sides. But since I got so many nails and screws in this, I just basically put a good amount of glue on the one side. And you can kind of see here as I'm putting the glue in that I'm putting the glue between the lines I have marked. Continue it all the way down. So I got this screen put together here. This is the other side. Just lifted it up, so now obviously it's the horizontal. So everything's done. Basically all I did is, I did it off camera, but these are just 2x4 frames all the way around the whole privacy screen. just screwed it in at the top, on the corner, all four sides. And then this is just the final two strips here for the inside frames. The inside frame. So anyways, it's kind of nice because you can see on this side, like when I was using my square to square this off, I did notice that some of these boards were out a little bit on the end. So I actually just took my power sander and just sanded them. And that's why there's a couple little gaps here. So that's what's nice about kind of the inside frame, is it hides a lot of that little imperfection. So I just basically screw it into the 2x4 frame, and this privacy screen is done. And then the last step, I guess, is just to sand it, stain it, and then mount it. And I'm going to be mounting it on 4x4 posts. So it'll be 2 4x4 posts going up the sides, and then privacy screen in the middle, and just I'm not sure how I'm going to secure it into the posts, but probably 3-inch screws. And then at the top, you can figure out a nice like decorative trim as well. Yeah, anything you want. I might just put a cap across the top, like a 2x6 cap, because to me, if you have a cap across, it's just like a fence, right? A cap will protect a lot of the wood from the rain and snow. Actually, here, I'll show you this fence here. Here, zoom around here. So when I built this fence here, like this is a 2x8 cap across the top, all the way down. And again, it's 2x8 measure, 7.5 inches, I believe, 7.25. So yeah, to me it protects. It's very important to have a cap across everything, just because it protects the snow and the rain and everything from getting onto the wood, especially on the ends, because you don't want splits will start to happen if you have like end grains exposed to the elements. So here's the final product. We applied some stain. It's that's the stain there. It's butternut stain, and I would say quite happy with it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. It's super strong, and should last for many years, especially with this stain. Might even do a second coat of stain. Okay, so here we have it mounted. As you can see, this post here is about 2.5 feet in the ground, and then that post there is just mounted on top of this deck here. And again, like I was saying, on the house facing side, I have the vertical boards up and down, and then the street facing side is the horizontal boards. And you can see this is another privacy screen I already had in place, but this one I might switch it around, because you can see the horizontals are on the wrong side. But yeah, they work quite well. So, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.